Are you investing in the cryptocurrency space, or are you investing or choosing to invest in companies that are investing in Bitcoin itself? Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite places growing up, which is GameStop. It seems like there are a couple articles out there, including one from the New York Post, that are saying GameStop said Tuesday a board unanimously approved the addition of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset within the company itself. So when we start thinking of companies like MicroStrategies that buy Bitcoin in bulk, that is exactly what GameStop is looking to do. And as of Tuesday, GameShare stock went up 7% to $27.23. Now, this decision really echoes the strategy that we've seen with the largest company that holds Bitcoin, MicroStrategies, dumping out the micro part. So it is just going to be unveiling a new logo and making its commitment to that crypto space. So MicroStrategies is just going to be renamed, dropping the micro part. It is a natural evolution with companies looking to integrate in Bitcoin and the world's biggest and best known cryptocurrency in the heart of the business operations. So unfortunately, with that move, GameStop said that right after the executive order signed earlier this month about the strategic reserve that the United States is building of cryptocurrency, GameStop will be using a portion of its cash and future debts to start acquiring Bitcoin, very similar to what MicroStrategies has been doing. Didn't specify the amount. We don't know what the holdings or the buyings are going to be, but in the quarterly filings, we are going to have to see it. Also posted a rise of fourth quarter profits, and it also is and did say they're going to close stores. So if you have a GameStop location like I do, which we have a couple that are relatively close, they're going to start getting rid of the retailing video game hardware and merchandise and getting rid of it in its entirety. In the age when I think of my PS5, when you look at, the Xbox, everything is now downloads digitally. It is instant. It is always there. Even thinking of World of Warcraft, some of the mobile games that I play, everything is updated simultaneously. There's no reason to run out and grab discs, grab hardware, grab really anything. And I know GameStop tried to turn it around a little bit when everything was going on with the meme coin. And unfortunately, they did not they really were not able to turn it around. When we start looking at the fourth quarter net income, doubled to $131 million compared to 63 in the previous year. Now, the company really the center of controversy. If you watch the Netflix special that talks about the meme stock trading frenzy that we know, it has been struggling with the primary business. So at this point, it was really with digital downloads like we were talking about, streaming games, e-commerce shopping, online, the GameStop really fundamental plan doesn't exist any longer, and the company would be completely out of business if they didn't really change the model. Now, it aggressively cut costs, so the company does have some viability, closed 590 stores in the United States in 2024. A significant portion of those stores are going to be closed in 2025, and then we will get to the point where they are completely built out or kind of out of business as GameStop has sit today. So what does it mean for the future of GameStop? Is it the time to start investing in a company like GameStop? Should you start and continue focusing on MicroStrategy? Should you hold your Bitcoin yourself in a self-custody wallet? Should you hold it on an exchange, cold storage? There are so many different ways to invest in Bitcoin. The question is, where is Bitcoin going to go? Where is it going to stay? And how much could we see when we think of bigger entities? So when you start getting companies into the game of Bitcoin, especially, companies like MicroStrategies, when you look at GameStop, they have a little driving part in the price, depending on how many Bitcoin they have. But when you get something like the United States economy behind it, when they start buying Bitcoin, I feel like the price of Bitcoin itself is going to go to the moon. We are starting to see a lot of additional ETFs that are coming around Bitcoin. We're also seeing a couple additional ones that are coming around Ether. We could also see one that is coming with XRP. So cryptocurrency really taking a stake as a nation. And if we are the highest and largest holder essentially of Bitcoin itself as a country, that absolutely is going to spike Bitcoin's price to the moon. Now, what we did last time, and we talk about our 3 ETF portfolio, is we are holding the QQQM. That is the builder. That is really the backbone of the portfolio that we're looking for massive growth over the next 20 to 30 years invested in that NASDAQ 100. The second part that we talk about is the VOO, which is the Vanguard S&P 500. We are investing in the index itself. So we know within there, we do have some companies like MicroStrategies that has and really does carry Bitcoin in its motto. We know another couple other companies in there as well that do the exact same. Now, we also do have the HD. I am still holding the HD. We just seen the reconstitution with that ETF itself, meaning hopefully it can be a lot more profitable, start to edge out or beat out that S&P 500. But as of lately, it has unfortunately been underperforming. And the final part that we do hold in the portfolio is iBit, which is my ETF with the iShare. That way we can have exposure of about 5% into cryptocurrency. So if and when we do see a big spike in Bitcoin, when companies like GameStop start to buy it on a larger scale, we'll already have access and we'll already buy and hold the Bitcoin. And we are doing this through dollar cost averaging. Now, if you're unfamiliar with dollar cost averaging, we are putting X amount of money into cryptocurrency every single week. We're putting X amount of money into the stock market every single week, regardless of the performance. When we start looking at the last couple of weeks and the stock market has been down quite a bit, absolute perfect buying opportunity for you and I. If you're dollar cost averaging at a much lower cost, it means the last 2 years that we are dollar cost averaging, as the stock market increased, as our portfolio increased in value, we were purchasing all the way up, and we did have a higher dollar cost average at that point, buying it all along the way. Now, this again, seeing the flip side of 2025 and the market start coming back, seeing that 10% correction means that we are buying everything at least a 10% discount, depending on what you're purchasing. Some of those, like the tech sector, is a lot more affected, pulling back even further than that 10%, meaning again, we are getting a much higher discount on a lot of the tech ETFs that we're looking for to build out the portfolio. And I feel like if GameStop really does this right, we know the model works. Again, thinking back with MicroStrategy, the new name, the new logo, everything that was going on, and really with Michael Sayer and what he's been doing with this company, the backbone of Bitcoin is really going to be driven by companies that are invested in it. Now, when we start thinking bigger picture, looking at some of the hedge funds, looking at some of the investment companies, Roundhill is a perfect example that is doing covered calls with Bitcoin, covered calls actually with cryptocurrency. And we're also seeing a few companies that are doing it with different indexes and also individual stocks, including using something like MicroStrategies that are using covered calls. So kind of leveraging your money and being able to generate income on a weekly basis, a bi-weekly basis, a monthly basis, depending on the performance that you want and what fees and incomes you get from those covered calls. Now, me personally, we started investing in covered calls a couple months ago. We went with the QD and the XDTE, both of them from Roundhill, and it's been providing some very, very solid returns in the form of dividends paid on a weekly basis. So if you want to check those out, absolutely go ahead and check those out. But guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you think about GameStop, the whole move into Bitcoin, closing out the stores, which again, GameStop is something that I've always grown up with. I can't even count the amount of times when I stood on the corner or waited for hours and hours for release of a video game, including all of the expansion packs for World of Warcraft. We sat outside GameStop and waited till the midnight release and had midnight release parties. Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of those are going to be going away as people are doing a lot more things digitally. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.